What's up, everybody? My name is Dr. T, and so we're going to talk about programming one-on-one. So let's get straight to it. So the name of this session, I've kind of changed it. It's all about campus life. Y'all, let me tell you something. We argue and we fuss. We might say like HBCU donors don't give back. Here's something I want you to write down and take it back to your campus. All right. Happy students become happy graduates that become happy donors. And so it's important that you all understand that, because you're not just doing programming. Programming is a culture. It should be a way of life. It should be an extension of your organization. And so I want you all to keep that in perspective as we talk about the program. So here are pretty much 5 basics, principles to programming. So it don't matter what type of programming you're doing, what you're trying to create. It doesn't matter what type of organization you have. These principles, I think, are universal principles. So number 1 is the why. Before you think about any type of program, you need to understand why you want to do this. Number 2 is who. Who are we programming for? That's important. Then you need to understand what. What are we actually going to do? What do we want to be known for? And then from there, when. A lot of people, the right decision at the wrong time is still the wrong decision. The right program, event at the wrong time is the wrong event. And then assignments. I see a lot of organizations go wrong because they don't think about assignments as it relates to a principle of programming. So before we move forward, my next statement I want to make, my next drive home message is quality over quantity. A whole bunch of nothing is still nothing. Just because you do a lot of nothing, you still end up with nothing. However, if I do one impactful program and it is phenomenal, it only takes one program to change somebody's life. And so I want you all to get away from quantity and focus on the quality. So let's take a deeper dive into the why. What are our learning outcomes or objectives? So learning outcomes are sentences that start like this. Students will learn healthy relationship habits. Like whatever it is, students will, and then you put in an adjective and whatever the outcome is. Similar to objectives. The only difference between learning outcomes and objectives, learning outcomes means students are going to learn something. Objectives meaning it could be students walking away with something, an experience. So an objectives could be, the objective of this program is for students to be relaxed. You can't necessarily learn relaxation. You have to do it. So that will be an objective. The next thing we need to think about is mandates. So you could do programming because it's mandated by your general organizations. And so if you're mandated to do the event, don't trick yourself. You have to do it. Another type of why is impact. We just want to have an impact. And so when these type of events are kind of like the conference we unite. Like a part of our outcomes is we want it to be impactful. Students to walk away feeling like they're fulfilled, feeling empowered. That's another reason, valid reason to do impact. And then another reason to do events is money, fundraising. Fundraising are events, y'all. All right. The next one is who. This is important because a lot of people start designing programs, but they don't think about who they're designing programs for. And so the first thing I want you to think about is the classification. Are you designing this program for freshmen? Because there's a difference. You can do the same program, but how you deliver it for freshmen and senior could be totally opposite. And here's another statement I want you to write down. Stay in your lane. Like you can't be all things to every student. Do what you do as an organization and do it well. And then the last thing is, as a critical scholar, this is something I really want to bring to your attention, because a lot of time on our campuses, we're doing events for the same type of students. But I want you to think about the have and the have-nots, especially as you think about are you only doing events that are tailored toward particularly your ideologies? And so, again, move beyond your comfort zone and go from there. All right. So the what is important. What are you going to do? Like, what type of event is it going to be? Is it going to be a fun event? Is it going to be an education event? Is it going to be a lecture? Is it going to be a forum? Is it going to be like a physical competition? Like, what is the form of the event? And this should also match the who and the why. So these are the things when you all are doing carnivals and festivals, think about who do you want to show up and do we have something for everybody? So that's the what on programming. And then when. You need to think about, is this the right semester? Is it too cold? Is it too hot? What month? You don't want to do nothing in December. You don't want to do nothing in January. You really don't want to do nothing in August because you're competing with student orientation services and they've already mastered the freshmen. Avoid all of that. So keep those things in mind. Also the day. What day of the week? You know, maybe I'm going to do something on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I challenge y'all, especially on the weekend, why aren't you doing stuff on Friday, Saturday? There are a lot of students that don't go home on the weekends and they just stay in their room. Give them students something to do, especially on Fridays and Saturdays. And then again, what week? Don't do nothing during midterms week unless it's something to support midterms. And so again, think about that. And then the time of day. Do I want to do it in the morning? Do I want to do it in the afternoon? Do I want to do it in the evening, or do I want to do it at night? And then the last piece is assignments. This is important, y'all, because a lot of times we do these events and then our organization member shows up and we don't know who's doing what. And so now the org members are running around like, oh, you need to do this. Everything for the event needs to be assigned prior to the event. Every event should have a task list. Every task matters. So who's gonna work the event? What are they doing? When are they doing it? Where are they doing it? And what resources do they need to complete their task? And we're going to talk about the stages of the event. We do a pre-event setup, during, and post. So pre could be, hey, and know your ministry. Don't ask somebody that only wants to do graphics to come to the event and work the event. That's not their ministry. Their ministry is graphics. So they're going to be on the pre-team. You want your people that are social to be on the during team. And then you want people, quote unquote, your t-shirt wearers, you want them to come post. All they got to do is come, clean up, and go on about their business. And I promise you, if you follow these things, your event the day of will operate so much more smoothly. So if you haven't heard anything from me, always start with the why. It's time out for us just to program because, oh yeah, this is a good event. Okay, it could be a good event, but why are we doing the event? That's important. And then lastly, what works for your campus? And so it's always good that you all are willing to explore what other people are doing on their campuses. That's a way for you to learn. I love that. And you should keep doing that. Once you learn what other people are doing on your campus, bring that back. And the first question should say, the first question you should ask yourself, will this work on our campus? If it won't work, can we edit it or mimic, or can we make adjustments for it to work? Or is this something that only works for their campus? But these are things I want you to think about as you think about your programming. So I hope you all learned something. Again, thank y'all for being here. Spread the word.